Previously on the last Pokémon Crystal challenge run, and the game is showing us exactly what it means by the number bloody 4. And coming up. Meanwhile, the one in Kanto is still trying to extend tin cans and string to everybody. Welcome back to 4 Moves. This is the series where we grab a Pokemon and we give it 4 moves and put it against the timer, and we see just how long it takes us to defeat Red. Sometimes we have a very easy time of it, and other times it's a little bit of a struggle. Now today we're going to be running MAROWAK through the 4 Moves challenge. This is a Pokemon with an awful lot of potential. I can see this going very far. In fact, I think the only issue is going to be our speed stat. Now, it's been a while since we've seen this overlay, but because MAROWAK learns so many moves, I've had to dig out the larger move list overlay for this 4 Moves challenge. All the moves we can learn are on the left, but I've already decided on our 4 moves for this challenge. It goes without saying we're going to be learning Earthquake on this one. Earthquake is going to be a fantastic move to see us through a lot of the game. Now, our move 2 is actually going to be Hidden Power Rock. Hidden Power as opposed to any of the natural rock type moves, because this gives us a 70 base power move with a lot of PP and perfect accuracy. In slot number 3, we've got to go right down to the bottom. We're getting Swords Dance. This is going to make the run an absolute breeze. And then, because we are slow, I've decided we are going to go for Body Slam as our next and final move. Body Slam will, of course, be able to paralyze the opponents, quartering their speed in Generation 2. So it gives us a chance to outspeed without having to completely rely on the Quick Claw. So with that done, let's take a look at our Marowak. We are level 5 with 22 HP, holding a berry with Earthquake, Hidden Power Rock, Swords Dance and Body Slam. 14 in attack, 17 in defense, 11 in special attack, 14 in special defense, and just 11 in speed. And now that we've got our moves, the challenge can begin. I've got a good feeling about this one. I reckon the speed stat will be the biggest hindrance, but we've got phenomenal coverage with our physical moves, and we do also, of course, have Swords Dance to boost our physical attack. Now, I'm recording this run a little bit out of sequence. I've actually recorded the next video before this, and it was not in Pokémon Crystal, so I am going to be taking maybe a few minutes here to get used to the nippier movement in Crystal. Hopefully it won't affect the challenge too much. If it does, I will swap to a little bit of practice and pick this run up later on today. I've also got a stream in 3 hours, so I'm hoping that I can get this video at least recorded in that time. For context, I'm going to be doing the Swanna stream today. That was something that came up in the chat in stream. People wanted to see a Swanna backport, had a bit of time after stream, so I decided to get it done. And streams are the best place, actually, to share ideas for things we can do, backports, other ideas for the channel. So do make sure you are subscribed with your notification bell tickled, so that way you never miss an alert for a live stream. The live streams are ostensibly like the pre-recorded videos, just with slightly more chaos involved. When things inevitably go wrong, I'm able to iron out with some pretty smooth video editing any of the errors that happen in our pre-recorded videos, but in the live streams you've got to deal with me furiously coding when something has inevitably gone wrong. Now, we'll call the rival triple question mark as we always do. We'll have a little chat with Professor Elm, and then we shall leave and start making our way towards our first gym together. And thinking of the gyms ahead, I think we've got a fairly smooth ride up in front of us. We're going to have something super effective against Falkner. We're going to have something super effective against Bugsy. We're going to resist Whitney's rollout. We've got something super effective for Morty. I think the first tricky gym leader is going to be Chuck, because he'll have Surf for us. So we'll just try and set up against the Primate. A long way to go, though, until we can even think of Chuck. We've got plenty of trainers to beat up, plenty of badges to get, and plenty of complaining to do as well. I'm absolutely sure of it. We've had a really, really smooth run, actually, through to Violet. Very few wild encounters, so much so that I'm going to take on Bugcatcher Wade. I don't often like taking him on these days, but we're only at level 7, and I don't think that's going to be enough to see us through Falkner's Gym, so we'll get at least a few extra experience points and some stat experience by battling him, and we'll make our way into the first gym together. Do we need to PP heal? Probably not. Let's now go into the gym and see how we get on. Spearo's going to be slightly menacing, but hopefully not too much of a threat. 2-shot on the Spearow, and we grow to level 8. Up second is going to be Birdkeeper Rod. He does not have a flying type move. I think his only attacking move is Tackle, and we critical hit his first Pidgey, so he's just having a terrible day. Crit didn't matter in the end. Grow to level 9. We can use a single berry here, get us back up to full health. And we'll take on Falkner. He is our first of 16 gym leaders. He is a flying type specialist, leads with Pidgey. Pidgey goes down in 1, Pidgeotto outspeeds, but we critical hit as well. Goodness me, we are blessed with the luck so far. 346 for the Falkner split. I will happily take that. Let's get that call from Professor Elm. We'll ignore it as best we can. Quick PP heal. And we will chat with Professor Elm's aide. We get the escape rope instead of the egg, and now we can move on with our lives towards Azalea Town. With the trainers we battled in the Union Cave, it was one-shot city. I wasn't expecting anything other than that from our Marowak. We got up to level 14 doing all of that, which isn't too bad at all, and that means we can make our base in Azalea Town for a little bit. I forgot to pick up the Super Potion, so we are 1 Super Potion lower than we would normally be in this challenge, but I think we won't be needing to heal too much, and when we do heal, it'll probably be Pokemon Center heals, because we'll be using a lot of Swords Dances, and Swords Dance can give a habit of making you lose a lot of HP early game. Now, Slowpoke Well is going to be one of the easiest things we've ever done, I think, in a Gen 2 challenge run. There's absolutely no chance that any of these rockets are going to do significant damage to us. Having just a rock and a ground type move, ignoring the normal type move, misclick there by the way, still got the dodgy D-pad, would be enough, I think, for neutral coverage of almost anything we come up against. I think maybe grass fighting, but there isn't a grass fighting here, would not be covered for neutral damage, and I think there might be another type combination as well. I can't think of it off the top of my head, but for the most part we have a very, very powerful set of moves on our hands, especially for being a physical attacker, and being a physical attacker with these moves is going to come in very, very useful by the time we get to red. And yeah, just as we thought, no problem at all there at the rival. Not at the rival, at Slowpoke Well. Let us now move on to our next gym. Now, I have realised we probably should have given the rival the Chikorita line in this challenge, but it's going to make no difference, quite honestly. The only difference would be probably 10 seconds, if that, because we would set up a Swords Dance. And with the incredible luck we've had getting up to this point, I don't want to restart the challenge and potentially lose a lot of time through wild encounters. So we're just going to have to deal with that, and it won't really matter in the grand scheme of things. We are going to do full trainers here in Bugsy's gym. We've got super effective moves, so they're all easy one-shots, so it just makes sense to me to get the free and quick experience and a bit of extra money on top. This is Bugsy, our second gym leader together today, a Bug-type specialist, leads with Metapod. Hidden Power one-shots like we would expect, same with Kakuna. And then poor Scyther, it's quad weak to our Hidden Power. Goes down in 1 as we grow to 18, and we obtain our next badge, the Hive badge, in 9 minutes and 1 second. Really, really, really good start for our Marowak. I'm playing with confidence with this one. I have faith in our Marowak. Let's hope it is not misplaced. Goodbye, Ghastly, you were easy. Croconaw comes out to play. Use a combination of Hidden Power and Earthquake. Oh, we didn't quite two-shot there. Just trying to preserve some Earthquake PP, but that's absolutely fine, because we can use a Hidden Power on the Zubat. We did consume the berry, but I don't really mind. Let us stick on a repel now and we'll make our way through the Ilex Forest. I was considering Headbutt, by the way, in place of Body Slam, but I think having the extra damage and the chance to quarter the opponent's speed is going to be more beneficial in this one than it would be to have the chance to flinch, because we're not particularly fast. So we aren't going to be getting those occasions where flinching is quite as useful. Now here in the forest, the only things we need to pick up are these pair of ethers. There's one here, and there's one tucked away hidden in the corner. And with that, we are out the other end. Here in Goldenrod, we have grabbed the bike, and we are going to go into the underground to take on our mandatories here. Not going to risk a body slam against this Slowpoke. We're going to go straight for Earthquake. I want to make sure that we one-shot these because they can hit us quite hard, and I don't want to have to do an extra heal, especially when we're on this good pace. It's been a long time since we've got an 11 minutes into Goldenrod, so I want to make the absolute best of it. And going up north, we're going to have a good time as well, because there are a lot of Pokemon weak to the rock type, so we're going to be able to get even more free experience. We'll grab the coin case, we'll use the escape rope, and we will get our rental Abra from the game corner. This functions just like any other Abra in the party, but it's in the bag instead, and it will teleport us to our most recent Pokemon Center. On the way up north, I think we'll do Kim, the camper whose name I always forget, with the Diglett and the Zubat, and then we will also take on the double Bumhead Fireduck. I think those Bumhead Fireducks are going to give us some incredible experience points. Diglett was a candidate for this slot as well, but I decided to go for Cubone instead, and Diglett's coming out probably next month instead. So watch out for Diglett. I think it might be a little bit of a dark horse, you know. The Bumhead Fireduck number 2 may outspeed us here. Nope, we are faster. Brilliant. Level 22 acquired. Oh, I cannot stand Juggler Owen. Now this is going to be one of the most important items of the challenge, the Quick Claw. We are going to equip it now so that we do not forget, because I know what I'm like. That thing is going to be glued to our Marowak for a lot of this challenge. There are going to be certain battles where we take it off, where I think a berry might come in more useful. But for the most part, the Quick Claw will be imperative to our strategy, thinking especially late game with that. 3 one-shots on Psychic Mark. We're going to skip Alan today. And with that, we chat with Floria. We put the rental Abra into a sensible spot in the bag. We're back in Goldenrod. I don't even have time to cut between bits in this particular challenge. We are going so blooming quickly that the cuts would take longer for me to edit than it would be for me to carry on just in one clip. We are really doing a lot better than I thought for the early game. I knew Marowak would be good. I just didn't know it would be this good. Let's take on Whitney. She's our 3rd gym leader together today. A normal type specialist leads with Clefairy. We are going to risk Clefairy using a super effective move so that we can get a couple of Swords Dances up. And then we'll move on to the Miltank. One-shot the Miltank, that's what we like to see. Whitney is defeated. Let us get her badge in a time of 14 minutes and 5 seconds. Good job, Marowak. We are all super proud of you so far. Please do keep this up. If you do, you'll be going very far. Squirt Bottle acquired. We will do a very quick PP pit stop here in the Goldenrod Pokemon Center. And now it's time to do a quick trip towards Ecruteak City. Here in Ecruteak, just so that we can get some free early levels, we're going to go straight into the Kimono Girls Dance Theatre. These are all going to be fairly easy battles, and it means that we can then make the most of our PP heals in Olivine City. Should be a one-shot on this Espeon as well. Shame we got crit there. That's more annoying than devastating. Be interesting to see if we one-shot the Umbreon. This will give us a good indication of our attack. We don't one-shot, but we can two-shot using a Body Slam. That's still not bad. This is Vaporeon. Vaporeon might be able to hit us hard, or we could get it down. No, not Swords Dance. We can get it down in 2 hits. Growing to a level 25 there, and we've just got the Jolteon left. This will be a bit of a freebie after all that has come in front of us. So that's the Kimono Girls defeated. Some nice, quick, and easy experience points. We'll get ourselves the Surf HM and the Raft, and now we're going to make our way to Olivine City. Just going to use a standard potion or two here, try and clear up some bag space, and we'll start thinking about ascending the lighthouse. Here in Olivine, we have done our first pit stop in the Pokemon Center, and we are climbing the lighthouse, getting our steps in. Interested to see how much we do against this Noctowl. We don't quite one-shot it. That is probably a fair reflection, actually, because we don't have the best attacking stat in the world. 80 is great, but when you combine it with our experience group, we are struggling for levels in the early game. Now, I'm going to try and conserve as many Earthquakes as possible for the bulkier opponents. I'm going to be doing that throughout the course of this challenge. Also going to be conserving it for any water types in the hopes of one-shotting just like that. There's a lot of strategy that's going into this one to try and get through as quickly as we possibly can. And one of the things I really, really like about 4 moves is that we get to show the Pokemon's full potential. Unlike on the main series leaderboard, where we are bound to the level up learn set and bound to the TM learn set, this is kind of like the best case scenario for each individual line. So we really get a Pokemon like Marowak, who normally will not start with an attacking move when we run it in the main series, and instead of having that really long struggle at the start, we can just race through the early game. And I think this is a brilliant way of showing what could have been for certain lines who maybe didn't get the best treatment from Game Freak in terms of their level up and TM learn sets. Marowak is probably a prime candidate for exactly why this series exists and exactly why I think I and so many of you are having fun watching it. This has rapidly become one of my favourite ways to play Pokémon Crystal. It scratches similar itches to Supermon, but without quite as much peril. I've got Supermon recordings coming back next week in terms of the recording sessions, so we should be seeing them maybe the end of this month. Hopefully I can get 1 or 2 out. We do now have a rival 3 to contend with. Can count this time in this challenge. He leads with Haunter. Outspeed the Haunter, and we knock it out in one as we grow up to level 29. Crocodile comes out to play. We don't one-shot it, but Water Gun crits yet again and does nothing at all. And we've got Hidden Power Rock for the Zubat. Final Pokemon's going to be Magnemite. We know what happens when Magnemite gets touched by a ground-type move. It goes away. As do we, because we're falling through the floor. We'll release these beasts. We'll tell Ucene where to go by ignoring him. And we will also remember to get this HP up. This HP up is interchangeable either for the Karen fight, or if we're desperate for money, I will sell it in Goldenrod department store. With that, we've got some gym trainers to get through, so let's skip to the end. Well, those gym trainers were easy. Let's take on Morty. We're holding on to the Mint Berry to make sure that we get through this one unscathed. He leads with Ghastly. We don't even need to do any setup. We are just going to click the Earthquake button to get the win. We don't outspeed the Gengar. We can save the Mint Berry now for the Chuck battle because Hypnosis missed, growing to 32 and obtaining Morty's badge, the Fog badge, in 22-21. Goodness me, what a quick time this Marowak is posting so far. I am so proud of it. Let us now grab this Super Potion. I'm going to take on some extra battles just for a little bit of insurance, and we'll make our way towards the lake. We've taken on our standard set of Nido trainers here before getting to the Gyarados, and now we'll take on the Gyarados itself. I'm going to use the Swords Dance just to be safe here, and we should hopefully be able to one-shot the Gyarados just like that. Red Scale acquired. Lance is now the person we have to speak to. We don't want to, but we have to, and we will oblige him this time. Going to make our way up towards the other end of the lake now. I'm not quite sure why they can't chop down a few trees. Maybe we are in some kind of preservation area. Maybe there's some rare Hoot-Hoots here that cannot be dislocated from where it is. We'll get the rare candy, and I'm also going to get the extra money TMs here as well, because we need all the vitamins we can get for this middle part of the challenge. I'm going to be focusing on our defensive stats in this one to try and bolster those enough so that we can survive doing a Swords Dance or two. But with that, we can Rentalabra our way back over to Olivine. I love skipping so much of the map. And we can get on the bike and on the sea. over to Cyanwood. Yet again, the gym trainers are putting up no resistance whatsoever. We're already at Chuck. We are going to take him on. We'll play it a little bit safe here by using a Swords Dance or two against the Primate. We don't outspeed the Primate. Karate Chop crits but does next to nothing. And now we should be able to one-shot both of his Pokemon. There goes the Primate. There goes the Poliwrath. There goes Chuck's chances of a victory. Storm Badge in 25-42. Goodness me. We are racing through this game. We're going to get the air balloon now, and we do need to have a little chat with the man in the dodgy shop to pick up the secret potion. And we're going to go straight back up the lighthouse now. Now that we have the air balloon, movement is an awful lot easier, and before doing the housekeeping, a trip up the lighthouse is a very good idea, because Jasmine's got nothing for us. She might be able to hit us with a single Iron Tail, but my plan is to Swords Dance against the Magnemite, and then 1 or 2 shot the Steelix. We'll see whether that plan comes to fruition, but that is my current line of thinking for the Jasmine battle. I don't think we need to play it conservatively. I don't think we need to play it safely whatsoever. So let us now head towards Jasmine. We are still holding on to the Mint Berry, and we'll take her on. She is a Steel-type specialist, gym number 6 today, leads with Magnemite. Now we can survive quite a few of Magnemite's moves. We'll do a double Swords Dance actually, because I want to see if we can try and get her around about 50% health so that she doesn't healing loop. Let's see. We one-shot. Never mind. My maths was all kinds of wrong there. That was even easier than I expected. Well done, Jasmine. You were truly awful in this one. I've got some housekeeping to get on with now. Let us skip ahead to Mahogany. We've just done our first vitamin shop of the challenge. We had enough money scraped together to actually get full calcium in our Pokemon. I've decided to go for calcium on this one because I believe that most, if not all, of the attacking types that ground is weak to are special in Generation 2. So if we can bolster our defences that way, we could be in for a good time. There is a glitch in Generation 2 where your special defense does not get boosted by Pryce's badge. Your special attack does, but if your special defense is between certain values that I cannot remember off the top of my head, you do not get the same boost. So it's kind of imperative that we artificially boost it on our own, so that way we still are going to be able to tank some of the stronger hits. I'm thinking of Surf, I am thinking of potentially even Solar Beam later on as well. We're in a good position for a lot of Solar Beam users though, because we do have Earthquake on the learn set, and we're going to be seeing a lot of Grass Poison types, so at least it won't be fully resisted. I am a little bit worried though about Executor when we get to face that. A long way to go until we see an Executor though. And by the way, I did use a PP up from Violet City in Earthquake. We're going to get 3 PP ups in it by the time we get to the Radio Tower section. But we've got this Mahogany hideout to get on with in the meantime. I am not going to make you sit through any more of this. This is already getting far too long. Let's skip ahead to the end. There we go, 1 Mahogany hideout all cleared. We had 2 bombs and a tackle from the Electrode there, meaning we are actually going to need to use a Super Potion to get ourselves back up to sensible health for the next gym. Now we do technically have the type disadvantage to this gym. I'm going to take on this Jinx because she'll be fairly easy to get through, grown to 38. And hopefully with this we can skip Border Douglas entirely and get straight on with Pryce. He is our next gym leader together. An Ice-type specialist leads with Seal. I think we're just going to go for it on this one and hope for the best. Maybe a Swords Dance against the Dugong. Aurora Beam doesn't do too much at all. We can one-shot the Dugong then. And we can hopefully one-shot with Earthquake the Piloswine as well, just like that. And we obtain the Glacier Badge in 32 minutes and 40 seconds. Goodness me, we've not been on a pace like this without a Legendary or Zangoose for quite some time. Marowak really is racing through this challenge, and I don't think we're going to get slowed down any time in the immediate future. We've got the Quick Claw back on, so hopefully the Quick Claw will inspire our Marowak to keep going very, very quickly through this challenge. Ice Path is next. We've not got too many bits and bobs to pick up in here today. We are going to still get full vitamins so that we can sell some of them for money. I don't think we need to be using protein in this one. I'm also getting very good at that boulder movement at long last. I don't know what it is, something has clicked, and now I'm messing up that boulder far less frequently than I'm doing it correctly, and it was the other way around for about 3 and a bit years, so I'm very happy about that. We're also going to pick up the TMs here in the ice path, because all of these can be sold for cash, which can then go into our Pokemon in the form of vitamins, and the more vitamins we have, the more likely it is that we are going to get a very, very good time. Now, out the other end of this ice path, we fly to save repel steps, and then we will go and get our 12 max repels. That will see us fit for the rest of the challenge. And now we have my nemesis spinner coming up. She's worse than Joyce. I can never get the timing right here. Nope. Second try. Better than sometimes where I've been there 3 or 4 times. Oh, there's a Raikou for no good reason. And it's gone. Well, that was a nice little distraction for 20 seconds, wasn't it? Let's grab this PP up. We don't need the Prosecure Berry. That means we can trip back to Goldenrod City. And now that we're back in Goldenrod, we are ready for Rival 4. We've already done the 2 mandatory trainers in the underground, so we'll go straight into battle. And if this goes like all the others, I think it'll be a very easy affair. We'll start with a hidden power against the Golbat. We don't quite one-shot it, but he hasn't gone for Confuse Ray. That is a great start. We will use a couple of Earthquakes against the Feraligatr. Once again, Water Gun is fairly meaningless here. We'll use Earthquake against the Sneasel as it takes us down to 69 HP. Haunter comes out to play, we outspeed, we one-shot, and the last Pokemon is poor old Magnemite. Once again, a very, very easy rival battle there, getting through in about 37:45. And now doing the radio tower lets your mind have a lot of time to wander and just think about all kinds of mundane stuff. And I've come to the realisation that because Cubone in Generation 2, at least in Crystal, could learn Ice Beam via the Move Tutor, technically you can then have an Alolan Marowak with an Ice Beam. So that would be a Fire type without a secondary Ice type or anything, having just a very strong Ice type move. And that's got me thinking, are there any other Pokemon like that where they're able to learn a move because of a previous generation and a prior evolution that just makes absolutely zero sense if you think about it for long enough? Because an Ice Beaming Alolan Marowak is a terrifying prospect. Now, I do believe that showing any more of the radio tower would violate the Geneva Convention, so we'll skip to the very end of it. We've got one more rocket left to go. He's going to be easy. He's got 3 Pokemon all weak to ground, so we should have a very easy time there. That's it. It's done for another challenge. We are free from Radio Tower Purgatory. The director of this radio tower is going to come in and start yapping now. Meanwhile, the one in Kanto is still trying to extend tin cans and string to everybody because he's got no bloody power. We mustn't forget to pick up the radio card while we are here. The answer to this is, as always, 11212. And then we'll leave Goldenrod once and for all and make our way in to Blackthorn City, where our next gym awaits us. Now, this gym actually has the potential to be a little bit scary. This isn't Claire. I don't know why I press the button here, but every time I do, it's a practice for Claire. And that is purely because we will have the weakness to Surf off Claire's Kingdra. The Dragon type itself is meaningless. It's just everything around the Dragon type is a vaguely terrifying prospect. Earthquake's going to absolutely one-shot all of Claire's Dragonair. It is literally just the Kingdra we've got to contend with. We'll see how we get on. We'll start with an Earthquake against Dragonair number 1, growing to 47 as she sends out Dragonair number 2. That goes down as well. Here comes the Kingdra. I reckon double Earthquake is going to be our best bet. Smokescreen is a little bit terrifying, but we should be fine. Our last Earthquake has connected, so Claire has been defeated. That means we can now get out of this gym and we will rush to the Dragon's Den. Inside the Dragon's Den, we mustn't forget to mock this awful specimen of a human being called Trainer Darren. We will take out his Dragonair and feel very good about it. I am going to do another very quick vitamin shop before we take on the Pokemon League. So I'm going to pick up that extra calcium while we're here. because I do want to try and boost our speed as much as we can. Now it is 1212 here at the Dragon Shrine for our final Jotonian gym badge rather. And I'm always happy with sub-hour Claire, even happier with sub-50-minute Claire. This is sub-45-minute Claire, 44.50 for the badge. And now after one last vitamin shot, we are well on the way to Victory Road. I've started taking on the Psychic with the Espeon, because he's a fully evolved Pokemon and very good experience for an incredibly quick battle. I do like to chop and change the trainers that I take on throughout the course of the challenge, and he is one that's becoming one of my regulars. Now, we use a Super Repel in here just to make menuing a little bit easier once we get through the Pokemon League. We only need the HP up today. We don't need to pick up any items extra than that because we can't learn any moves, so we'll take on the rival for one last battle. This time he's going to lead with Sneasel. We're going to use Sneasel as a chance to set up a couple of Swords Dances. We'll do all three and then we'll get to taking out all of his Pokemon. Sneasel goes down, Feraligator's going to go down in much the same way. Here comes Golbat, we outspeed it and we knock it out in one, so no confusion for us. We can Earthquake the Kadabra as we grow to level 50, and then poor Magneton. Nothing it could do there to withstand our Earthquake, and the same for the Haunter. Triple question mark goes down in 48.26. Let's get ourselves into the Pokemon League. We're going to do a cursory PP heal. We absolutely need it. We can't afford 4 full restores, so we'll have to go for 2 full restores, and we can probably get away with that. In fact, why don't we sell some of those so that we can have at least 3 full restores, plus the one we already had in the bag, and we'll park ourselves in front of the league, and we'll do our stats and predictions. We are shaping up this time like this. Level 50 with 145 HP, holding the Quick Claw, but we're about to change that for the Bitterberry for the first battle, with Earthquake, Hidden Power Rock, Swords Dance and Body Slam. 119 in attack, 143 in defense, 92 in special attack, 122 special defense, but just 86 in speed. Now, this league is going to be fairly RNG dependent, I reckon. If we get lucky, we will have a very quick league. If we don't get lucky, we could be stuck at certain trainers for quite some time. We have the benefit of being able to max out our attack with Swords Dance, that's going to work in our favour, but we will have to work around confusion as well. And so into battle we go. First league member is Will. He is a Psychic type specialist who's going to lead with Xatu. We should be able to get away with a single Swords Dance against this Xatu, and then we'll Hidden Power and we'll knock it out in one. Up second is going to be Jinx. We've got Earthquake and we outspeed, so we knock her out. Executor is kind of scary, but I'm hoping that a pair of Earthquakes will knock it out. Leech Seed should hopefully be meaningless now because we can Earthquake the Slowbro, and then we can Hidden Power this last Xatu. So that could have gone a lot worse than it did. Will in 49.30. Let's move straight on to Koga. Koga is our second league member. He's a Poison type specialist who's going to lead with Ariados. We're going to use the Sword Stance against the Ariados. Double team will hopefully be fairly meaningless, although he is sapping away our precious power points. That's the first time in a while that double teams meant something in one of these challenges. Venomoth goes down in one though, and we are on to the Fortress. Probably going to be a range on this thing, but we high roll. Here comes Crobat. We aren't going to outspeed the Crobat, so we've just got to hope for the best. We connect on turn 2, and the last Pokemon is Muck. We've got a straight up Earthquake for the Muck. We knock it out, we grow to 52, and that is Koga defeated. Our third league member is going to be Bruno. For Bruno, we will use a single Super Potion, and nothing else. We'll take him on now. Bruno is a Fighting type specialist, of course, who's going to lead with Hitmontop, and we are going to take full advantage of him leading with Hitmontop. We can use a triple Swords Dance, and then if we Earthquake, we'll hit him underground for major damage. We'll Earthquake the Hitmonchan. He's probably going to go for Ice Punch. Earthquake on the Hitmonlee as well. It goes down straight away. Here comes Machamp. Say hello and goodbye to it because it's already gone down. And the last Pokemon is Onix. We don't get a nice clean level, so we're going to be going into Karen on level 52. But we defeat Bruno in 50 minutes and 51 seconds. Bit of prep work we need to do for Karen. First of all, we'll use a max elixir. Then we will use a full restore. We'll use a HP up. And where are those bitter berries? There they are. This is all we can do for Karen. It's up to the RNG as to whether we get through first time. She leads with that pesky Umbreon. We use Sword Stance, Sand Attack as hit, Faint Attack on turn 2. And we've missed. Hopefully we'll connect this time. We haven't. Fourth time is the charm. There we go. Umbreon's gone away. Vileplume is next. We connect, so we're not getting Stun Spored. Murkrow's third. We can use a hidden power, but we miss. We hit on our next time. And the next Pokemon is going to be Houndoom. We Earthquake, so it is all down to the Gengar. Do we connect? Yes, we do. We have defeated Karen on our first try. Time of 51:52. Karen is always a time sink because of the prep work that goes in. Now we have Lance, the Liar with the Flyers, as our final obstacle between us and the Hall of Fame. Let's see how we do. I reckon Sword Stance once, maybe twice, and risk a single surf. It didn't crit. Hidden Power should one-shot this Gyarados now as we grow up to 54. Dragonite number 1 comes out. We can one-shot with Hidden Power. That crit did not matter. Same thing can happen with Dragonite number 2. Now the Aerodactyl is going to outspeed us, no doubt. Rock Slide didn't flinch though, so we should be okay for the rest of the battle, maybe. It's all going to depend on whether we outspeed the Dragonite, which we do. Thank goodness for that. I wasn't terrified, you were. Lance in 52:45. Oh, that was a little bit too close for comfort at the end there, but we did scrape through. Resetless through the end of the Pokemon League, and our final Hall of Fame time for this challenge is a very, very, very good 53 minutes and 1 second. Let's take a look at the midpoint leaderboard. And at the midpoint of this challenge, we are in first place by a single second. Goodness me, Marowak did very well. This is, of course, just the 4 moves leaderboard. Let us take a look at the overall midpoint leaderboard and see where we are. And we are in a very good 16th place. We are in strong company on that top row of the second page. So 16th might not be first page, but it is not a big gap between anything from like second or third place down to the end of that top row. So Marowak is doing incredibly well for itself in the first part of this challenge. Don't forget though, this is only half of the story, believe it or not. We still have another 8 gym badges plus the red fight left to come. So I tell you what, don't you dare go anywhere, because Kanto is next. And now we are rejoining the action as we always do here in Vermilion City, where the first thing we'll do is grab a rare candy from the chairman of the Pokemon fan club. And with that safely tucked away in our bag for another challenge, let's get on with the Kanto leaders. Our first one should be a fairly trivial affair because we're going into Lieutenant Surge's electric type gym. And while I don't know the most about Pokemon, I definitely know that the ground type is immune to electric, so we should be in for a good time here. Let's engage him in battle, we'll see how it goes. We won't outspeed his Electrode, but I'm hoping that won't cause too many issues. Raichu there using Quick Attack, in hints of what may be to come in the red battle. Electabuzz goes down in 1, and up next is Electrode number 1. We are just relying on the RNG here. We will eventually hit through the double team, we just don't know when it will happen. We get a bit of a reprieve here against the Magneton, which doesn't double team. And we hit first time against Electrode number 2. That is Surge defeated, Thunderbadge acquired in 55:11. Now our next gym leader could be a little bit tricky, but I still think it's worth taking her on before any of the others, because the extra movement we will do will counteract any time save of taking her on later. Gonna grab the leftovers, may or may not use that for the red fight. We'll also pick up the PP up. I'm sure I'll put that in a move at some point later on. We are going into Erica's Grass-type gym next. Now, the Grass-type does resist ground, so we'll put Body Slam in top slot. This gym is one of the entire reasons actually why we have Body Slam. Oh goodness me, that could have gone badly there. I think this is going to be our toughest of all 16 gyms. We've had a very good time of it so far. So we were overdue a tricky gym, but we have Swords Dance. So we can counteract a lot of the negatives. She does also have, quite frankly, a ludicrous amount of mandatory trainers for a post-game gym leader. We will be growing up to level 57 before we take her on. And I think we've got one potion left, or one full restore. We'll use that, get up to max HP, and we'll take her on. This is Erica. She is the grass-type specialist of Celadon City, and she leads with Tanglers. Sleep Powder is what I was worried about there, and a crit. For goodness sakes. That was some absolutely horrific luck there. Taking our first reset at Erica. We can deal with a single Giga Drain. That is all we needed. We weren't supposed to get crit there, and we weren't supposed to get sent to sleep. We have lost a teeny tiny amount of time, but nothing too terrible in the grand scheme of things. We should have a fairly smooth ride after this, so we can afford one reset on the first Pokemon of a gym leader. Time of 57.09 for Erica's split. That was just a bit of duff luck, really. It's a 50-50 as to whether Sleep Powder even hits. Now, I think I am going to get the other Max Elixir that is available here on Cycling Road. That will come in useful for saving time and not having to pay a to heal at all. We will get rid of this Noctowl with a hidden power, and we can move on into Janine's gym. Janine will be easy. She is a Poison-type specialist, and her one Poison type that's an immune to ground moves is weak to Hidden Power Rock. We outspeed the Crobat as well, so we'll grow up to 58. And here comes Ariados. We'll use a Body Slam, don't need to get the super effective text if we can avoid it. Venomoth is Surge, she's wasted her money on the dire hit, and then we will Earthquake the Weezing to guarantee that we one-shot both of them, so we're not wasting any more time than we have to. Soul Badge acquired in 58.07. That was a 58-second Janine split with a Max Elixir. That is not bad going. Let's get ourselves now back to Saffron City, and I'll start navigating the way through a rock tunnel. And now we are out the other end of the rock tunnel. That means we can pop into the power plant, where we'll have a little chat with the incompetent manager of this plant. He is so terrible at his job that he's let a machine part get taken from under his nose. We'll ignore him for a little bit though, because we've got some gym leaders to beat up. And the next one lives here in Saffron City. It is Sabrina. She is, of course, a psychic type specialist. And I wonder, are we going to get outsped by her Pokemon? That is the question. Sand attack has failed, thank goodness, so we are going to get outsped by her Pokemon. We can outspeed the Mr. Mime though. We almost are level 59 as we get onto the Alakazam. Psychic tickles us but doesn't do too much. We grow up to 59 and we have defeated Sabrina to obtain the Marsh Badge in 59.55. This is going to be a very, very tight race at the top of the 4 moves leaderboard. I can tell you that for nothing. We are on a very similar pace to both Octillery and Porygon 2. And up next is going to be Nugget Bridge. And in this Nugget Bridge, I want to talk to you all about the next Crystal video, because it's going to be quite an experimental video. One of the things I'm taking with me this year, and I've mentioned it before, is I'm trying not to get bogged down in the metrics of video performance. Unfortunately, part of the nature of the beast of doing YouTube is that video performance does matter from time to time. But I've had an idea for well over a year now to take the gym leader's Pokemon through Pokémon Crystal and see just how fast we can beat Red with the gym leader's Pokemon team. So the next video is going to be an experimental video where we try it out with Brock. Now it could end up being a complete disaster zone and a one and done, or we could end up making a series out of it. We shall have to see. But there are plenty of other little one-shot and one-off challenges that I've got bubbling up in my brain, and I might take the risk with some of them this year. because I love solo running. It's always going to be my home. But there are times where I get other challenge ideas in my head and I think that could make a fun or interesting video. So I will definitely be considering doing more of those challenges. Another one I want to do is seeing just how long it can take me to use every single move in Pokémon Crystal. I know Dan did the minimum number of Pokémon required. I want to see it in real time, well, at least at 4 times speed, to see just how long it would take to see every single move that is at least available to see in Crystal. There are some moves like Razor Wind that I don't think would be able to get, because I don't even think an NPC has a Razor Wind. I'm not sure how Sketch works in the Battle Tower, but we might be able to get something like Sky Attack via Sketch in the Battle Tower. Plenty of variables with that concept. And I think a lot of it could be incredibly fun. But yeah, that is the plan for this year. We're going to do mostly challenge runs, a lot of Supermon, and some weird experimental fun videos in between as well. Let me know if you like the idea of that, or if you have any other fun challenge ideas. I will definitely consider them. Right, that is Misty defeated. Let's get ourselves back over to the power plant, and we can move on to the final few gym leaders of this challenge. We really are racing ahead. Misty could have been a threat, but fortunately for us, we had a very good battle against her. We do now need to go to Lavender Town to make sure that we pick up the X-Men card. No more tin cans for this radio tower. I'm sure the director will be incredibly happy about that. And we do need to go to Vermilion next, so that we can wake up that bear that has been blocking the cave, probably proving to be a logistical nightmare for the people of Kanto, so we will do our public service. 1 Pokeflute equals 1 awake and very grumpy Snorlax, kind of like me in the morning. And we can get through. I'm actually recording this one very late on in the day for me. It's currently 4 minutes past 1 in the afternoon, and my next stream is in 56 minutes time. So I am hoping beyond hope that I am able to get this video done without having to fiddle with timer settings. Should be cutting it fine, but just about okay. Let's take on Brock now, a rock type specialist, got a weakness to the ground type. So I'm hoping this will be 5 one-shots. We've actually got a very good pair of gyms coming up now. Brock is weak to the ground type, and then Blaine is also going to be weak to the ground type. So I can just hold A here and have a very relaxing time with it. Don't need to think at all. Can just defeat Brock. Time of 1:04:24 for Brock. Let us now try and get past 3 drill. Just like that, I'm going to get off the bike, because I'm terrified of losing time at this point. And we can make our way down to Cinnabar Island. Cutting this tree saves a little bit of time. Max Repel, Air Balloon to Viridian. That was good bag movement there. Starting to get used to it. And this Max Repel will last us all the way to Blaine. Now, I'm trying to get used to getting on the bike here and getting the rare candy before speaking to Blue. It's only about a 3 or 4 frame time save, really, but every little helps when you're against the clock and on a good challenge. And we will avoid that spinner there by taking the extra text by doing the double surf. Into Blaine we go. And this is our penultimate gym leader, Fire-type specialist, leads with Magcargo. One shot on the Magcargo, you'd expect nothing less. Bumhead Fireduck will outspeed that, and it goes down in 1. As for the Rapidash, we do outspeed. Not sure if that was a Quick Claw proc, or whether it was a natural outspeed, but I'll take it either way. And that is Blaine defeated in a time of 1:05:32. The splits are on the other side of the screen, so I'm looking over and they're not there. We've just got moves. We had so many moves to pick up at the beginning of this challenge. What do we want to do for Blue? Probably leftovers at this point. Don't think we need to max Elixir. We'll just take him straight on. Blue is our final trainer, or gym leader rather, of the challenge, leads with Pidgeot. We're going to Swords Dance, another crit. We're getting very unlucky with the crits at the moment in this challenge. We'll Hidden Power the Pidgeot because I was a little bit terrified of Mirror Move. Up next is Gyarados. We outspeed and Hidden Power will one-shot. Such is the beauty of having both a rock and a ground type move. We'll use Body Slam on the Executor. We don't one-shot it, but he's taking in Sunlight. That is just a free turn of healing as far as I'm concerned. Alakazam does next to nothing with a Psychic. That brings us on to Rhydon. Earthquake the Rhydon, and then I reckon an Earthquake on the last Arcanine as well. Very, very good stuff. Nice blue battle there. Time of 1:06:46 for the final badge. Let us get ourselves over to Professor Oak rather. We will have a little chat with him. The stress is starting to build now because we're on a good pace, so I'm getting nervous. Doesn't happen too often in Crystal these days, but the nerves are very much kicking in at this point in time. We'll fly back to Viridian City. We've got to deal with the most difficult ledge in the game now. We get through it because I get off the bike because I'm a wimp. And now we can get our final rare candy. As always, I will do the candying off screen. I know that the flashing can be very, very disruptive to certain people. So I'm making a concerted effort to not do this on screen. And we are through the dark room in Silver Cave. I've also candied. We were at a fairly clean level, so we did just put the candy straight in, and we are now on to Red. He is the final trainer of the challenge. He leads with Pikachu. My plan here is to rely entirely on Quick Claw luck and fairly good bulk. We'll be able to get through the Pikachu in one shot. Venusaur is next. Earthquake's going to be our best move for the Venusaur. Hopefully it does one shot just like that. And on to the Blastoise we go. We outspeed the Blastoise. They are the big threats of this battle gone. Reflect is up, but we one-shot the Espeon. We've got Snorlax next. Hopefully we don't get paralysed by Body Slam. He goes for Amnesia instead. We just have Charizard left to go. We get another Quick Claw proc. We grow to level 72, and we have first time Dread in 1 hour, 9 minutes, and 11 seconds. I think that might be the first time we've had a single reset challenge where the only reset was because of blummin' Erica. That was a really good challenge regardless. Let's take a look at the final leaderboards. Now, upon reviewing the footage, we were 109.10 when we defeated Red, and that gives us a dead heat between Porygon 2 and Marowak. Porygon 2 takes the lead because we did it before Marowak, but I tell you what, Auxiliary Marowak and Porygon 2 have been neck and neck throughout the entirety of this challenge. If we plonk it on the All Crystal leaderboard as well, you can see that it's only Typhlosion separating them. That 109 time is a very common time now, 16th place for Marowak in the end. That is a very good finishing time when you consider that we have no speed stat whatsoever. So I am happy with that one. I think we couldn't have played much better. It is a shame about the reset at Erica though. On another day with different luck, we could possibly have made it to the top and even the front page, but it wasn't Marowak's day today. There is always chances for redos though. We do those on stream quite often. So if you do want to catch those, make sure to subscribe. If you've enjoyed this challenge, please do think about clicking the like button. If you've got any feedback, leave it in the comments down below. And until next time when we're doing another fun challenge, I will say thank you all so much for watching, and I will catch you all very soon.